not talking luxury. We're talking regular, everyday life. And somehow, even that's getting too expensive. And single women are feeling every single dollar of it. There's a real difference between being independent and feeling financially alone. And a lot of women are doing their best just to keep everything together. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and follow for more videos. Check this out.
You are single in this economy. You are a bad bitch. You are paying your rent, your mortgage, your car payment, your utilities, buying groceries for yourself, traveling the world, taking care of your health and appearance. You are a bad bitch.
It is very expensive to be single. And when I say single, I mean not married. I'm not talking about the people that are dating or anything, just not married and no kids. It is very expensive. You cannot imagine like the people who are living their lives doing all these things. It's because they have shared expenses, whether it's living with a roommate, living with your family, living with your husband. You get to put them on their taxes. You get to put your kids on your taxes. It is expensive to do all this by yourself. It is expensive. So if you're doing all this by yourself, be proud of yourself because I'm proud of myself. I was thinking to myself, like, dang, like I have an apartment, I have a car, I have this, I have that. I do all that stuff. I don't share my expenses. I don't share them. It's all on me. And so I don't know if there needs to be some sort of tax for the single, tax for those that are living by themselves doing it, but we need something because this for the birds. It is.
The thing is, two-parent households are not even making ends meet. A lot of us are struggling in today's world, today's society. Like, a lot of us just have money issues. And a lot of us are doing this thing on our own. And a lot of us have children. I don't have children, but a lot of us do. Can you imagine, like, well, I'll say this. I can't imagine being a single mother, raising children, trying to survive and make a living for me and my child in today's economy. And then you figure, oh, well, let me get a spouse or blah, 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 blah. And once you get a spouse, we're barely making it work together. Like, who has the formula? Who's figured this shit out? Because it's literally the most depressing thing in the world. And it's just not fair. There has to be another way.
Living alone is so expensive because my bills are like almost $3,000 a month. That includes absolutely everything. And I am not living above my means. I promise you that I am not. All of my bills are reasonable. And I'm just like, but everything nowadays is so expensive that is just like, even treating yourself feels like a crime. And I'm so jealous of married people because I'm like, oh my gosh, you have help. Oh my gosh, stay-at-home moms can just stay home and their man can pay all the bills. Like, I want to be a kept woman so bad. I'm so tired of paying bills. I'm so tired of stressing. I just want to be back where I was when I was like 23, 24, where I could save money. Everything was cheap. Now that I'm 27, I feel like it's so hard to save because, again, everything is so expensive. And it's hard out here for single people.
Our lovely government says that I make too much money to be able to get any kind of assistance. So I don't get food stamps. I don't get like any kind of government assistance ever at all. I don't make that much money. And mind you, I'm a single mom of two, not one, but two kids. Their dad isn't here anymore. So I don't get any money. I don't get child support. I don't get any help from anybody else. It's just my income. My rent is fucking outrageous. I literally pay, my rent's $1,500 a month with nothing included. And, my credit apparently isn't good enough to buy a house. I don't get the assistance, and this fucking economy is fucked and everything is just getting more and more and more expensive. So I don't understand how in the fuck they can even say that a person like me, a single mom of two kids, cannot fucking get food stamps or anything. Like, how can I not get help? How can I not get help, but yet a motherfucker who ain't worked in 10 years can? Make it make sense.
If you are single, living in this economy, doing everything for yourself, you a bad bitch. All right? Like, gas is high, rent is high. Like, it is hard. Like, it is very, very challenging right now. Like, it is a privilege to get on a plane. Plane tickets are so high. Like, if you are a single mom, doing it by yourself, like, you need everybody to be patting themselves on the back right now because, wow. And I don't see it changing for the foreseeable future, which is also extremely concerning. So if you put groceries in your refrigerator every week, if you pay your car note, you pay your rent, if you doing all that by yourself, like, you need to give yourself some grace and be like incredibly proud of yourself because it is incredibly challenging right now as a single human being living in America.
Being a single mom in this economy in 2026 feels like running a marathon while carrying groceries and kids and bills and trauma and pretending you're fine. Making every decision alone while paying rent and bills, working 40 hours a week and still prioritizing your mental and physical health, still trying to go to the gym and eat right, still trying to socialize while your nervous system is constantly in survival mode. 0 out of 10. I don't recommend. Then, I come on fucking TikTok for a little dopamine hit. I'm seeing ice fucking this fucking world up. Oh my God. And we can't even afford to be burnt out, literally. Gotta go to work. And ain't nobody clapping for you, bitch. You either sink or you swim. But on the bright side, at least I don't have no nigga ruining my peace, adding on more stress on top of all this bullshit. Shit, we made it to 2026, nigga. We gonna make it. We got this, y'all.
Did you know that if you are a single person living in Canada, your cost of living is almost $7,000 more than those who are partnered? While we were filming our episode Beyond Happily Ever After, we talked to Black single women in Canada, the US, the UK, and Ghana about what it means to be single, to find love, to find intimacy, to find happiness in the midst of being strategically single in these places.
Life is economically easier when you have someone to help foot the bill.
I don't know how people manage to be single and have their own space. Most people who are living in London are not living.
They're getting by.
Yeah, they're getting by. Living wage isn't really rising with inflation and hasn't done for years.
From housing to healthcare and even groceries, the cost of being single adds up. Let's take Canada, for example. A single person renting a one-bedroom pays, on average, over $23,000 a year. Meanwhile, a couple splitting a two-bedroom each pay about $14,000 a year. All expenses in, if you're a single person living in Canada, your cost of living is nearly $7,000 more than those who are partnered. Discounts and deals, they almost always require you to be part of a couple or family. Take vacations. Most packages are priced for two. If you book alone, you often get hit with an extra fee that can range from 10% to the full cost of a room.
So I'm currently waiting for a ride from my coworker to work because my car's not starting. It's not even my car, it's my mom's car I've been using because I can't afford to save up for my own car because the rent is so high and the bills are so high. My other car got repoed because I couldn't afford to pay the payments anymore on top of my rent and all the other bills, so I let it go. I don't pay AAA anymore because that bill is also too high to add on to everything and try to make cuts everywhere. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my battery, what's wrong with my car to begin with. I have no money left. I already paid the rent. I already paid everything else. I don't get paid until next week, so I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do. This is reality. This is America. This is a single mom. But I still got to make it to work. Because how else am I going to do anything if I can't make it to work? Not to mention, I also need a car to take my daughter everywhere, so I don't have anyone here to help me with that. Nobody answers their phones before 9:30. Everybody has their own lives going on, obviously, which is fine, but By the way, I've been on my own since I was like 20. I do not have good credit. I cannot just go get a new car or use my credit card for something. So that's also not an option. This is just to show this is a predicament I'm in when you're doing it on your own. You know, you kind of just have to wait, see what's going to happen next.
Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. Ah! I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all 4 brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun, you know? Fuck. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities. Ah! And you can't, like, in this city that I live in, public transport, please. If I were to do public transport, it's like asking to get rate, and I really shouldn't be crying because now I have to go to another work event, and now I'm gonna be all puffy. I'm just, living is so expensive. Just keeping yourself alive and floating is so expensive. And what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted is if I were to take public transport here, especially for my job requires a car. I have to have a bunch of shit that I have to lug with me for work. And I can't do that with public transport. I'm venting. Inflation sucks. Just living in America sucks. Living alone sucks. It's great, but it sucks. Because you have to front all the expenses by yourself. I need a husband just so that I can live. So we can split the bills.
I'm setting myself up to be alone for the rest of my life at the age of 38. And I'm going to tell you why. I always said that the closer I get to 40, I was having nobody's kids. So obviously, I ain't gonna have nobody's kids. And I don't even have a boyfriend. So, I mean, doubting marriage is anywhere near in my future right now because I'm not even talking to anybody serious. Okay. But I noticed that a lot of women are like in the same boat. So I took it upon myself in the past couple years to just pay off debt, do everything, try to find a home, try to do all kind of stuff to just set myself up for my future. Because like I told you in my other videos, I am not a person who struggles. I don't know what it's like to struggle. So I need to make sure the rest of my life that I'm still able to go to the hair salon, nail salon, do what I want to do. If something break, I can call somebody, or I can be able to go shopping just because it's a Tuesday. So I made sure my 401ks are set up. My investment accounts are good. Steady putting money into that. Put money into a savings account. Looking for a permanent home so I can own it. So that way when I'm older, I don't have to sit up here and work at 85 to try to still live. Okay? Do y'all not see what's happening in this economy? If you are a woman and you are single, I need you to tap in and lock in. Maybe one day I'll do a video and show the resources that I've been using to like get ahead. But even my student loans are less than $10,000 now because I've been aggressively just paying off everything because I'm going to my 40s. All right. Being completely financially free and able to do what the hell I want to do. And I want to spend the rest of my years like that. I do not want to be a slave to my debt. I'm Black. My ancestors already paid the slave debt. We, the future, we ain't doing that. Sorry. I owe it to them to be carefree and just living life the way I see fit. So I am setting myself up to be single for the rest of my life and enjoy a prosperous, good life. Everything from my finances to my health. Okay, my health has never been this great in the past couple years until it got to this year because I watch what I eat now. I go to the gym. I told you, you got to keep yourself up, especially if you're a single woman. But even if you're not a single woman, keep yourself up. Okay, baby, I do that. I do all of that stuff. All right. Well, woman's exams, breast exams. We making health and wealth the top 2 priorities. And that's what I did. And ironically, it just brought me to the next level. So yeah, setting myself up to be alone, doing all the work so I can live a great life. That way, in case anything happened, your girl got some coins somewhere. I'm set up. And unfortunately, that is the reality for a lot of women. So I need a lot of women to think about the future for real, sit down, and it's time to lock in and do the work so we can live a great, soft life. Okay?
So, for those who don't know, I was a teen mom to a special needs child. I was 17 when I got pregnant with my daughter. I was living in an abandoned house with no running water or heat. Fast forward, when she was 10 months old, her dad passed away in a motorcycle accident. Him and I both were 19 at that time. So I spent the first 7 years of her life raising her on my own. We didn't come from a wealthy family, so we didn't have much help or support. And my mom was going through drug addiction, so I was also trying to help take care of her. And we lived off of $1,000 a month. There was no help for situations like mine. We didn't get subsidized housing. The wait list was years long. I got like $50 a month in food stamps, and I got $1,000 a month in assistance, which people would gawk at and say, oh, it must be nice. And it must be nice. But here's the thing. I couldn't work because daycares wouldn't take Emery. It was a liability. They didn't have the staff that were skilled and trained or the facility for children like her. I had no childcare. I didn't have family to watch her. We didn't get nursing. So it was all on me. In order to keep her safe and healthy, I had to stay home with her. But that meant sacrificing having an income. That meant sacrificing having a safe home. We lived in a horrible area because it was all I could afford. It was $550 a month. And every weekend, almost like clockwork, I would have to load Emery up in the car and we would flee because there would be gunshots or somebody would have a gun pulled on them in my front yard. Somebody tried stealing my window AC unit out to break into my house while we were sleeping one night. There were many nights that I went to bed with nothing but a McChicken in my stomach. That's all I had eaten all day. Bread and butter, toast, ramen noodles. That was basically all I ate because it was all I could afford. So people would gawk at, oh, well, you get $1,000 a month in assistance, must be nice, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is I would have worked in a heartbeat if it meant that I could have provided a safer home for us, if I would have had real food in my house, if I would have been able to get my hair done, my nails done, buy myself new clothes occasionally. I didn't enjoy living on assistance. I can tell you that right now. It was not cushy. It was not fun. We struggled really hard. I had met with several social workers. I had talked to DHS. I had had a caseworker. Nobody could help us. There was no resources. So I had to choose between either leaving my daughter in the care of somebody who was not trained, like a babysitter off Facebook or Craigslist, and getting a job and being able to have the means to be a productive member of society and have nice things, or choose to be poor and stay home with my daughter and keep her safe and healthy. So that's what I did. And I still caught hate for it. And to be honest, I would have gotten hate either way I went.
Don't scroll. This is the fourth time that I recorded this. If you don't know me already and haven't watched any of my pin videos and know my story, go back and watch those first just to get some background knowledge. I'm sitting in my closet because if you don't know, my son and I share a bedroom, and I'm in the closet so he doesn't wake up, and that's why the lights are off in here too. I am going through a really hard time right now, and I know a lot of people are, and I am someone that has a really hard time asking for help, but I am so desperate, and I need to know that I have tried everything and all of my resources. So that is why I am here. I am part of the TikTok Shop Creator Fund. And so all I need you to do is please just watch this all the way through and like it and repost it and save it and do all the things, because I literally don't know what else to do. I don't have a lot of time. I work as a teacher and I don't have a lot of time to be on TikTok Shop and to tried to get things done on there to make supplemental income. And I obviously can't have another job because I'm a single mom. And so I'm reaching to you guys. I've seen so many beautiful things happen, like miracles happen on here. And I know everyone's going through probably very similar things. And so all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Just watch for 1 minute. And if you could just share my story and give me all the positive vibes, because this is kind of my last hope. So if you could please watch all the way through and like and share and repost, I will be forever grateful. Thank you guys.
The hardest part about being single is 100% being able to afford it. It's expensive to be alive. It's expensive to be healthy. It's expensive to live alone. And it's expensive to be a woman. But when you hear those things, I want you to recognize what's your automatic reaction to them. Because for the longest time, mine was, I wish I had a boyfriend to split the bills with. Or I wish I had a boyfriend who paid the bills like a man. And when I sat with that and I pulled back the layers that were there, it exposed the fact that I was taught, it's a learned behavior, it's a learned thought pattern, learned belief, whatever you want to call it. I was taught that in order to improve my financial situation, I had to get a man. I wasn't taught in order to improve my financial situation, I need to improve my skills and therefore market myself in that way and advocate for myself. Now, consciously, I do those things. I have learned to do that. But the deep rooted childhood shit that I've carried for so long was just like, oh, you have a problem? A man will fix it for you because you're just a girl and you need princess treatment. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but that is designed to keep you as an idiot, respectfully, as a woman. And there's nothing wrong with having help from a good man, a husband, a boyfriend, a dad, a uncle, whoever. There's nothing wrong with accepting help from them. It's hard for me as a independent, maybe hyper independent woman to ever really fully justify or get behind a woman fully relying on a man, because the hand that can feed you is a hand that can starve you too. And that terrifies me. And it's not to say that all men are bad and financially manipulative, but wouldn't it just be better to be financially secure in your own way? Since now in our world, we are in a position to do that as women. It's not easy, but we can do it. Whereas 50 years ago, they couldn't even get a credit card without a male cosigner. In the 70s, it was literally 50 years ago. So all of this to say, when you think about what your financial solution might be, I hope that you, instead of projecting into needing something outside of yourself, I hope you look in the mirror and be like, what am I good at and how can I market that and sell it to somebody else in a way that feels ethical and good and enjoyable and fulfilling to me? Because you don't also have to go sell your soul. You can do something that feels good for you. And I know that's very rah, blah, 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 but it is the truth. And I'll end with this. Something that I have always wanted or told myself I wanted was to be a DINK, a dual income, no kid household. Because to me, that provides such a level of luxury and luxury. However, my initial thought was like, well, I'm single, so I can't do that, obviously. Hey, let me hold your hand when I say this. You can be a single DINK. Right now, I have 4 sources of income. I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not saying it's sustainable. I'm not saying it's doable. In this season of life, I am choosing that because I want the steadiness or the flexibility of multiple sources of income to not corner myself into one reliance on a business. And I also want to be able to gather funds to be a DINK by myself. Like, you can be a single DINK. And I hope that I'm motivating you to do that, as well as deleting Hinge. Because if you're spending 10 hours a week, which is the average for millennials on Hinge, you could dedicate those 10 hours, hey, even 5 hours, to gathering money in a different way so that you feel sustained and secure in yourself. Because money can't buy happiness, but $80K a year is the bare minimum to feel like safe right now. And that's truly the bare minimum. So I hope this is something that can help you shift those patterns. And I'll also end with this. I've been listening to Financial Feminist on Spotify. You can also obviously buy the book, and it's been really helping me unwire all this bullshit.
You need to be more fearful of being broke as a woman. You need to be fearful of a woman of getting to a certain age, retirement age, and being poor, being on the breadline and struggling. You shouldn't be fearful of being single, babes. I know this can come across as insensitive. I don't understand how you're not more afraid of being broke. Me, I'm allergic to being broke. I am allergic to it. My system, the set point in my system, because everybody's got a financial set point. It's very similar to weight set points, right? And everybody has a set point that their body and their nervous system says, I'm comfortable here. This feels safe. This feels familiar. The same way that happens with the physical body is the same way that that happens financially. And based on your childhood experiences, based on your childhood development, the environment you were raised in when it comes to money, you will have a financial set point. And that financial set point can at times delude you into thinking that you are happy being broke, you're happy living paycheck to paycheck, that it is virtuous and beneficial to you to rely on men for money. So when you're coming up with these life plans and visions of being married by a certain age to a provider man, a generous man, because they're all shades of the same archetype of man. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what way you women dice it. Your nervous system has a set point financially. There's a set point that you don't go above as a single woman. You don't want to earn above a certain amount because you don't want to make yourself unattractive to this provider man. You don't want to be left out there single for too long. And so you would rather kind of be broke, maybe moderately financially stable so that you can get chosen and selected. But you should be afraid of that, babes, because even if you do get married, that's his money, not yours. That's his money, not yours. And if that marriage doesn't last, and look, hate to break it to you, I don't make the rules. The stats say marriages on average last 8 to 10 years. I know everybody goes into it thinking it's going to be forever, that they've chosen the one, they are the one. But the stats are what they say. In addition to that, most of you aren't going in with a prenup, partly because you don't think there's anything to prenup, or you think it is negative to have a prenup, which is delusional, by the way. Absolutely delusional. It's delusional. Even if you've got a hut or a bike, prenup that thing. You have value. But that's aside. A lot of you are not going into these marriages with clear terms and conditions. You're going in because you're in love. You're in love, right? You need to be afraid. Don't worry about fear of visibility, fear of being unattractive, fear of being left on the shelf, fear of being single. You should be fearful of being broke because it's not nice. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's not nice. And when you are single and you are the only income generator, you are relying on yourself because not everybody has family who's going to give them money. This is why I laugh when people comment to me. Men ask me all the time, but what will you do in 20 years' time? Who's going to look after you? Please, I've got money. I can pay for services to be looked after, and I'm going to be looked after exponentially better than people who have kids, because not all of these people who've got kids have loved their kids, and not all of their kids love them. So why am I worrying about that in 20 years' time? No. The things that you're being taught to be afraid of, you're off the mark. It's the wrong thing. What you should be afraid of is being broke as a woman. Even if you're married, you should be afraid of that. And the next step isn't to find a man that's got money. No, you need to be an adult financially. You need to step up, be an adult, function like an adult, and get your own money.
Yeah, and nobody talks about what goes through a mother's mind in the moment. You're in the checkout line buying school clothes, praying that overdraft protection allows the purchase to go through, knowing that you are going to have to work extra shifts just to put that money back. And I think what hurts is not just not having the money, it's wondering if your children will remember what you couldn't give them. And you're looking at the total on the screen thinking, man, I should be able to do more for my kids. And every time you can't, it feels like you're failing them. But in this day and age, when material possessions seem to be so important, I think there's something we fail to realize. Children don't experience love only through what you buy them. They experience love through the way you consistently relate with them, whether they feel seen, loved, safe, valued, heard, and wanted. And I'm not going to hold you. Yes, your child may remember that you had to work a lot of extra shifts, but they will also remember how you listened when they were hurt. The way you showed up, the way you hugged them, the way they could come to you, the way you made them feel like they mattered. And I think that's what you've really been grieving. Not just the money, you're grieving the childhood you thought you would be able to give them. Yeah, you thought by now you'd have more. You thought that their life would look different. And you've been measuring yourself by what your circumstances allow you to provide, but your circumstances are not the same as your capacity to love. Loss may be a part of their story, but it is not the author of their story. And what I mean by that is, yes, your children may remember the hard parts. They may remember there were things they wanted that you couldn't afford, but God is not limited to what you can give them. He can take the parts of their story that you wanted to rewrite and still use them to reveal his faithfulness. In real time, you have the opportunity to teach your children what it looks like to trust God even when things don't go as you plan. You get to show them that having less doesn't mean that they're less. You still get to teach them that a hard season doesn't mean that they have been forgotten by God. And you get to show them something they may carry with them for the rest of their lives. That when life wasn't turning out the way you thought it would, you trusted God enough to keep rebuilding. So be encouraged. It may not feel like it right now, especially if you are standing at the register trying to figure out how in the world you're going to make everything work. You are doing a good job. Yes, even now, you're still showing up. You're still trying. You're still loving your children. And God sees that, and your children do as well. Follow me for more encouragement as you rebuild your life and raise your children in the middle of it.